Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations, a live look at our best bets, picks, and predictions for every UFC event. With your hosts, TB Scouting MMA and
the Guru back again. UFC Vegas 108. We've got Tatsuro Taira. I am happy, thank you. Versus Hyun Sung Park. Gonna be a fantastic fight. The first ever all-Asian main event. So why not put it in front of the Apex in front of 20 people? Gonna be great. So before we can get into this slapper of a card, we've got a brand new, fantastic guest in the building. Make sure you guys go check out his Patreon if you want to make money on tennis and UFC. Go check out his Patreon, Tennis and UFC. If you want to hear his other podcast, Talks and Ramblings, go check him out on Just Win MMA podcast. Really like them. Tennis and UFC. Jordan, pleasure to meet you. Thanks for coming. How are you?
Hey guys, doing great, and appreciate y'all reaching out and having me on. Just getting to chat before the show. Great to chat with some Northeast guys who also are passionate about the UFC and MMA overall. So yeah, I'm excited to break down some fights with you guys, see what you think. I'm always I feel like I'm in my own lane doing things with betting and what I like, but I always like to hear what other people think too. So excited to hear where we all land on each of the fights.
I like
we got a couple rules for the show. Number one is it's a conversation. So if you want to interject, if you have a point to make, jump on in there. Number two, we like to fade the narrative on this show, right? All the steam's going this way. We want to be divergent in that regard. And number three, grandma's couch cushions, right? We're diving into grandma's couch cushions to throw dart throws, right? The sprinkle plays, because nobody's going to notice the 25 cents to 50 cents mission between the couch cushions, right? So we like a lot of those on here as well.
Nice. Sounds like good rules.
What he didn't mention is that you're also allowed to make nicknames for anybody that you like. It's a dandy of a time. But just like Hyun Sung Park, tennis and UFC, getting the big step up here. But first, you get an Apex event. You knock it out of the park, we'll start considering the events and fans. But no, seriously, we're here live every Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern, having a great time, breaking down every fight from top to bottom. We got the best bets, the best guests, always free picks. So make sure, be like Daz. Throw a comment in the chat. We appreciate you. Even if you can't catch us live, make sure you're throwing a like and commenting after the fact. If you want to be amazing, if you want to make the bookies pay or be like make the bookies pay, we will name a parlay after you if you want to leave a beautiful donation to the show. John Newquist last week, he got the dog of the week named after him for his beautiful donation. So it's up to you guys. What up, Terrence? How you doing? Glad that you're joining us as well. He probably wants dessert, if I had to guess.
I gave him dessert already. That's why you bother me, brother.
Of course he is. And what I would tell you is it's Tatsuro Taira in and out, minus 355 versus Peace of Mind, Hyun Sung Park, plus 280. Short notice, coming on 1 week earlier than expected. Still fighting in the Apex, so you didn't really upgrade there, Mr. Park. But you're in the main event. And you're fighting Hyun Sung Park and Tatsuro Taira. This is going to be an absolute banger, I think. Both guys have a lot of talent in the stand-up, in the grappling, in the wrestling. We're in flyweight, so I think finishes will be hard to come by unless, I don't know. Does Tatsuro Taira get his grappling game going here to his advantage? Can he get the back take, the body triangle he loves so much, and get to work on a rear naked choke? As we were kind of talking about before we go on the air, me and the Guru, we're consulting each other consistently. It's the Chronic Combat Conglomerate. So we're kind of talking about, does Park have the type of submission defense necessary that if he does give up his back, is he making it to the next round? And that's the big question that we need to find out. Additionally, is Taira the worst striker in this matchup? Is that going to be troublesome for him trying to get into the pocket and getting his takedowns going? He does have the reach advantage. Can he use it to his advantage? Ultimately, I think Taira does get to the positions he wants. Whether it's by submission or decision, the sports books have no idea either. It's plus 150 by sub, plus 200 by decision. So, Guru, if you were to try to find the sweet spot, I'm not going to steal your prop here. What do we got cooking?
Yeah, I came into this really kind of thinking and digging for an under, but I kind of come away leaning the opposite now. And I think that Hyun Sung Park's jiu-jitsu is actually going to be serviceable here, right? I think it's going to be able to keep him safe. And I think on the feet, should be, I don't know, fairly closer, right? I don't really expect either guy to finish each other on the feet. So I think, Terrence, really, you got to relax, dude. I really think that, Jesus Christ, I really think that on the mat, while Taira could end up with a lot of control time, I'm not necessarily sure he's going to get the finish without hurting him first. So even though this guy has a ton of first round finishes, right? I mean, he's got 5 of them. And so his cardio might be something to suspect. Whereas we've now seen Tatsuro Taira, which we desperately needed to see him do, go 5 rounds, which he put in a great and gutsy performance against Brandon Royval, just came up short in that 5th round. And he took down a guy in Alex Perez who's, say what you want about him. He has more pullouts than fights or, whatever. But the guy's a veteran. So in this spot, I think I lean the over because how would you market it in a 3-round fight? Right? Would you be sure that there's going to be a finish? I kind of like the over. So Tatsuro Taira round 4-5 decision plus, I believe, plus 135 or plus 145 over on FanDuel. And even just the fight to start round 4 at Pick'em is interesting enough to me. Just got to get 15 minutes.
Jordan, what are you thinking on this fight?
Well, those are definitely some good lines right there, Guru. I think the late finish idea from Taira is something that I think is reasonable. But I think overall for me, kind of Guru alluded to it, there's a lot of unknowns with this kind of fight. Park has never lost. Until recently, Taira did not lose for a really long time. And, he lost to Royval, who's like an amazing fighter at the top of this division. And it was a crazy fight, very fun to watch, but, got outclassed in some ways. But we don't really know anything about Park on that level, So it's, I think there's a lot of unknowns. But the thing that I do like in Taira's favor, I've liked Taira to win every UFC fight that he's fought, except for against Royval. And I think I like Taira to win the fight. So the money line for me is not something I would ever straight bet or really put a lot of money into around these prices. But I do think him winning by finish is pretty likely. And something I think that TB had said leading into this, which I would add to, is the idea of what if Taira can't get the sub? Taira has been training in Denver with like Sandhagen and all of these guys, Chepe Mariscal, like really good and also violent fighters who try to finish fights with a lot of technique, especially on the ground, about like he already has good top control, good back takes, things like that. But he's already had good ground and pound. And I'm sure his ground and pound will be even more educated or better after training at a gym like that, which is something nice to see because like Japan has its own culture and gyms and stuff like that. But UFC, there's a lot of people in America or in North America training. So Taira hadn't really been over here until recently. Like long story short is I think Taira has proven more that I would favor him to win. And if he's going to win, I would say it's some kind of finish. The line for that, just Taira to win by finish, is like minus 110. Guru's line, where it's like 4-5 and decision, it has some good value on it because I think it's like you said over plus 150, which is nice. But I could also see Taira finishing early. I could see either guy finishing. They're both good fighters. Like I said, there's so much unknowns, but the more proven commodity and the guy who's been working at a better gym, in my opinion, with better guys is Taira. And I do think he's going to win by finish is my pick.
Yeah, so the 4-5 decision is actually just under plus 150 at plus 145.
Okay.
Park actually undefeated, so we haven't even really seen him face any level of real adversity at all. Facing very low level competition to get to the UFC and in the UFC. Shannon Ross, maybe one of the worst guys we've seen with no chin.
and Carlos Hernandez, who they just continue to give feed him to prospect after prospect to like give them an entry level fight to get into. When I don't know why I didn't even think of that angle. The finish by Taira -110, maybe we can even shop around finding a better price. I think that's really fair on a guy at -355, because when you talk about a line at that number, right, you're expecting a finish. So 25 minutes to find a finish at Pick'em, you have piqued my interest.
Yeah, and he's a guy who looks to finish. You watch all of Taira's fights. Royval was the first time that you saw him really run into a guy at that level who was just better than him in certain ways. He has almost been finished a couple of times too, Taira, and he does get reckless. Like, he's gotten cracked, and he's also been put in some chokes and stuff like that where it looked like he was going to get finished at various times in his UFC career. So it could be scary on the money line. That's why I said, my thing, guys, is kind of after a long process of trial and error with betting on this sport and also tennis, just try to get the best bang for your buck you can. Like, all these like -370 money lines and stuff, like, it feels nice when you put let's say like $3,700 on a -370 and it cashes or something, and you just have $1,000, right? Feels great, but we
do that all the time.
It's also just like, not a great strategy for like really trying to make sure you're protecting the money you have and getting your bang for your buck on various bets. So getting close to like plus money is what I would target for this fight. But really, in my case, on my side of things, it's pretty much like every bet targeting pretty much plus money.
Yeah, no, I like that type of approach. And honestly, that's why we have to talk to grandma here. We got to make sure we have a good bet, something that won't hurt the bankroll if you lose it, but it can seriously help out.
Talking to grandma is ridiculous.
Yeah,
we're not telling grandma. That's the whole idea. She would not condone us diving through her couch cushions and gambling with it.
No, you don't understand. You have to show up to grandma's house to get into the couch cushions. You're going to need to talk to grandma. Like, you can't just show up to her house without giving her a kiss on the cheek, talking to her, and then you can take the money from her couch to place bets. You don't tell her, though. When you win a bet, you put a little bit back. All right.
Got to talk to grandma.
Oh, man, you're not going to like this one. All right, we've got Mateusz Rebecki, Matty Ice versus Chris.
Terrible nickname.
Mateusz, Matt Ice. I mean, it's close. Chris, the problem, Duncan. I guess the guru has the problem with that nickname. It's -218 on the Rebecki side.
He has his own nickname. It's Rebesti. It's better than Matty Ice.
No, he's Matty Ice. I actually talked with him. He's going to change it going forward.
Yeah.
He's actually Liam picks fights, but over 1.5 priced at -175. The under 1.5 at +135. And ultimately, I think this is one of those interesting fights where you got two guys from the same gym. And, Rebecki seemed like more than eager to fight Chris Duncan. And Duncan's like, what the hell, man? Like, all right, I guess.
I thought we were boys.
Yeah, I guess we'll do it. And then, but they're both at ATT. So, like, a lot of those, great shape, great camp, the best supplements. It's kind of evened out in that regard. Duncan does have a significant, 7-inch reach advantage, 3-inch height advantage. Rebecki, he's a guy that has also, he hasn't really been finished. So,
he was.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry.
Diego Ferreira with 9 seconds to go.
Yeah.
Put him down. He beat the shit out of him in that fight.
Yeah. I would like to apologize. But that's the moral of the story here is I think Chris Duncan, his finishes, they typically happen, like, by surprise. Like, you didn't see it coming. He's like a snake in the grass, and next thing you know, he's either jumping gilly or he's landing like a right cross that just puts you, like, in another universe. I gotta say, he's got great like horsepower. He's just got terrible defense. And I think whether Rebecki wants to just calf kick him to death, he's going to be the faster guy and he's going to have the better reactions. It's just Rebecki also gets hit a little bit. He can get into wars in his own right. Can he slow down a little bit? A little. Duncan, though, I think that's something that he's got concerns with too. Like, if the fight's not going his way, I could see Rebecki just kind of consolidating top position, riding it out. I think this is the classic two guys from the same gym. Fight goes the distance. over 1.5 is minus money. It feels like a trap to consider fight doesn't go. Like, why are they giving us, if they expected a finish, like Duncan gets it fast, he gets it early. And Rebecki, you could basically say the same for him. He typically likes to get after it fast and furious. But
who doesn't?
Yeah, of course. But Rebecki here, I think he's going to be the better wrestler. I think he is going to be able to avoid the guillotine, get over, pass guard, and just kind of make things happen from there. I'm curious to see. I don't think he finds a finish, though. So, Guru, at plus money, fight goes the distance. Are we building a ladder to decision?
Well, we talked about building a ladder to decision last week, sung all about it, chickened out, and of course it was perfectly great. We wanted the overs in the Shara bullet fight to cap it off with a Shara decision. And we didn't do it, and I don't really know why.
I mean, it was a clinch your butthole type of moment, but it did get there. It did
for sure.
Yeah. So he almost did just kind of cash out there, didn't he?
Yeah.
As a minus 500 favorite. Pickett's being really lame. I do. I like fight goes the distance here. I do think it goes over. I think that they're going to both be relatively respectful of each other, just at least in the early goings, because they should know what each other have to offer. Wow. Well, we appreciate that, my friend. Like and subscribe. So yeah, I like the overs here, and I got Mateusz Rebecki by decision at plus 300. I mean, turning a minus 220 to a plus 300, Grandma would be proud. So.
Yeah, she would.
Jordan, are we going to make Grandma proud? What do you think?
Well, I don't want to disappoint Grandma, guys, but no, I think I see it probably the other way, but I do like the line you just mentioned. So I think if you are betting on the fight to go the distance, there's probably a better chance Rebecki. I'm just going Rebecki, by the way. See, like, I'm a Northeast guy. When people start going like Raum Becci and stuff like that, I'm like, nah, like this is Rebecki.
From I love that.
This is Rebecki, but he's a good
Where's the
guy.
freaking gabagool?
Yeah, exactly. But he's a good fighter, and I would if it goes the distance, I would favor him to win most likely. So for that price, I think that's a pretty good one. For me though, I think like both guys, especially like Duncan more recently, is like he's accelerating in the violence department. I feel like he's like getting extremely reckless and also deadly with the finishing instincts. So there's that equity with him. And then with Rebecki, we've seen him do some violent stuff too, like that beat down of Orla Bai and some crazy stuff. I think here's my thing, guys, about like fight go the distance or don't go the distance is I always try to factor in the thing that happens often enough where you need to factor it in, which is just an injury or a doctor's stoppage happens, right? Like the reason I bring up like the Orla Bai fight is like you just saw like that fight. I don't even know how that dude was even swinging with his eye closed like that. But this is the kind of fight where like I could see either guy getting cut or having like an eye shut or something like that. Or hurting a leg, because both guys kick hard too. So like for me, I think it's probably going to be someone finishing, and if it's a finish, it's probably going to be a KO, not a sub in my opinion on this one. Even though Duncan's been subbing people, so like fight ends in KO, TKO, or DQ is plus 105 around there on FanDuel right now. If I bet this fight, that would be probably the only way I bet it. Not a money line, not like not this person to win by finish or this person to win by a decision, but just like fight to end by KO, TKO, DQ, whatever that line is. That would be my take.
I think that makes sense on a lot of levels. I'm just, are you concerned at all about the level of competition from Chris Duncan? Fighting a guy in Vucenic who's a Cage Warrior fraud, got cut already. They got rid of him, and Oki, who's just like all athleticism, no real skill behind it.
No, for sure. I mean, I'm not saying that Duncan's like the next coming of Jesus or something like that, but also like Also, the same
Are
thing
you
about,
sure?
yeah, but the same thing I would say about Rebecki, right? He's like a super short dude for this division, very like garden gnome vibes, but he's super aggressive and violent about it. But again, I'll go back to that Orlabai fight. Like for me, you guys might have a differing opinion. For me, I don't think Orlabai is that good of a fighter for UFC standards. He's awesome and like an icon in the sport because of the way he looks, and
That's Gorak.
yeah, and he is very tough, and he has some good ground game and grappling and stuff. But him going that close, like Rebecki having that close of like a war with him, is not necessarily the best indication on where he's at. Also, in my opinion,
Wow.
so I think there's like two different ways of discrediting both guys, like resumes and stuff like that. Even though Rebecki has a much more extensive history at this level, all those guys from down there in South Florida, like, just being in the room together, training all of that time together, there becomes like a more of a confidence that you can hang with guys above you because you're in the gym with them all the time, including these two guys together. So I don't think like either guy is going to be intimidated by each other, or like this guy's resume precedes this guy by that degree. I just think both guys are powerful and violent enough that someone's going to get hurt. And even if it's a doctor stoppage, like, I don't think someone's going to sub someone in this one. I know a lot of people would like to think that Duncan wins by sub, and if he does, by the way, that's fucking incredible. Like if it's a guillotine, like the sub streak that he's on, it would be insane. Because I didn't know him as a sub guy when he was coming into the UFC. So
he definitely wasn't a sub guy before he went to ATT.
Yeah, now he's just hopping on it and finishing them. So
yeah, no, I mean he really wasn't. His first ever sub is 2 fights ago. He's got 2 in a row.
He's doing it for Dustin.
He's been doing it. I'm sorry. He actually had a guillotine choke in his first ever pro fight. So it was his second and third one ever.
Amazing.
But, yeah, really, really incredible stuff. So
yeah. All right, well, I'll go Matty Ice. Maybe there's a way he works himself into the make the bookies pay parlay. We'll have to
I don't know. I have I'm gonna do some more.
A lot of agita. Yeah.
It gives me some agita.
Yeah, we're being very discerning. All right, we're moving on. We've got Elvis Blue Suede Brenner versus
What?
Put on your blue suede shoes. We got Elvis is in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
It's fucking so stupid that it works.
I was gonna go with the King, but this one actually it flows better with his last name, Blue Suede Brenner. Versus El Gringo Esteban Ribovic. This is going to be a great matchup. Plus 205 on the Brenner side, minus 250 Ribovic. What we are guaranteed is action. This fight is going to be nonstop action. Both guys capable of violence and capable of finishes at any moment. The other part, though, is that they're also pretty damn durable on both sides. Joel Alvarez, I would just ask you, what would he do to Esteban Ribovic? It wouldn't be nice things. So Elvis Brenner, I could give him a little bit of a pass in that matchup. But like we kind of talked about, yeah, Orlabai just had his way with him. But even that, a little bit of some back and forth, some damage here and there. Even Brenner has some reversals, has some success in the grappling. In this fight, you look at kind of the pace, the output. Brenner's going to need to put on those blue suede wrestling shoes and get to work because it could end up being tough for him on the feet. That's what I'd be really concerned about. He does have a reach advantage, and Ribovic is not necessarily great defensively. In fact, he eats 2 more strikes per minute than Brenner does, but it's the cost you pay when you throw the type of disgusting – I mean, even eating 7 strikes a minute, he's still letting 3 more strikes than his opponent. Like, it's just absolutely disgusting pace. So, Brenner, I hope you're ready for some wrestling. Guru, where does that take you on the pick? Because, like, I don't know. I see a path for the
more agita is where it gives me. I kind of came into the week thinking Elvis Brenner dog shot makes sense, thinking that the line is too wide. But when I really think about it, right, it's like, I mean, didn't we get Nasrat at basically the same price?
Yeah.
Like we sniped that. We were all on Nasrat. But the truth is, Nasrat's a better fighter than Elvis Brenner.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like way more functional. So I just don't know why I would pay it again on a worse fighter. So I'm just kind of, I'm tough. It's tough. The truth is I feel like it's fairly even on the feet, which is why I do think the line is wide. But Esteban's pace is way higher, and Elsbrenner's durability is less, which is a problem. So, he's going to need to grapple, and that is where I think he can actually find some success. It's just whether, it's not the UFC video game. We can't make him wrestle. So can I put my money on him? I don't know. I'm probably going to cash out my bet. We have plus 220. But I really like FICO's the distance here. FICO's the distance. We can get it at plus 115 over on Fanatics TV, where a lot of these other books have moved to even money. I think that these guys are both fairly tough and durable, right? You see Elsbrenner get finished by Joel Alvarez. It takes till round 3. Was literally so pissed, was ready to lose my shit on losing an Alvarez by finish, but he gets it done. And he survives, right? He survives versus Gabriel Santos, and he survives. He knocks out Kurchevsky, who sucks. He beats Guram in round 3. That's the fight he really fucking survives. His head was red. His blonde hair was red. Anyway, FICO's a distance plus money. That's where I feel more comfortable than my dog shot. What do you think, Jordan? Are we on the right track here?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone will know if they're on the right track until we see how this fight goes down. This is one of those
so political for a Northeasterner.
Yeah, I think it's a tough one because I always talk to people about maybe a few years ago. Let's say getting out of COVID era. I think things changed a little bit in the UFC, but prior to that, there was a clearer way, I think, to look at UFC matchmaking and say the UFC is trying to build this fighter, so they're giving them this fight in this city on this card. You know what I mean? Sean O'Malley, I think, is probably the most recent example of the UFC executing that specific thing. Put this fighter in this place on this position in this card to build them against these opponents. But now it doesn't really work like that, in my opinion, most of the time. It's just who's available at the same time. The UFC doesn't have that big of an interest in building stars the same way they did with McGregor and stuff. And so this Ribovich guy to me is in a previous version of the UFC, I would be asking myself, are they giving him Brenner because it's an easy matchup for him and they're trying to build him? But I don't think that's the case anymore. I think it's just both of these guys are willing to fight and they're convenient and they're at the same time, you know what I mean? Similar in the rankings. But I think both guys hit hard. And Brenner comes from that, I think, shoot a box, right, in Brazil, which is just a reckless gym when it comes to fight styles. Guys who definitely fight a kill or be killed mentality. And for me, I actually lean towards someone getting finished again, actually, by KO or TKO or doctor stoppage as well as an option in this one. That Ribovich fight, his most recent one where he lost, it's he is a tough guy to put out, but Brenner has some of the explosive kind of power and techniques to do that potentially if he's defensively irresponsible. And yeah, I think Ribovich with especially body shots and just putting combos together and just pace and being in your face and stuff, physicality wise, I think I lean towards him to finish. But there's an interesting thing, guys. I wrote it down about this fight, just looking at the lines on FanDuel earlier, which is that fight to end by KO TKO is plus 130 on FanDuel, and Ribovich to win by KO TKO is plus 130 on FanDuel.
Those fucking cockroach fucking bookies.
Yeah, exactly. So this is why I say, sometimes you need to look at all of the markets available to you, because rather than betting Ribovich to win by KO or TKO, which is what I actually favor to happen in this fight, me personally, I will probably end up betting the fight to end by KO TKO for this reason.
Very smart.
That makes a lot of sense. And Jordan, I mean, not only does it make a lot of sense, but you're obviously very sharp and you do your homework. You come in prepared, and we do really like to hear that.
Of course, man.
It's a pleasure to hear you in your process. So let's keep rolling with this absolute lightning rod, man. I don't know why this isn't the main event. I mean, my goodness.
Every Rosa has its thorn. Carol Hossa versus Nora Wonder Cornole. I am wondering what's in that Cornole.
Ew, what the fuck does that mean?
It's open to interpretation, but that was her nickname on Tapology. Not even a TB nickname.
No,
Well,
what the fuck did you say?
Oh yeah, no.
That's what I
It's
meant.
up to
Not
you
the
to wonder.
nickname. No, you want to get inside her Cornola is what you said. That was crazy.
I said we all wonder what's in there.
No, we don't. That's what you're wondering. That's why I said it was fucking gross.
Man. All right. Well, like I said, every rose has its thorn. We're here with minus 192 for Carol Hossa, plus 160 for Cornole. And I'm just curious, is this going to be, Nora the Explorer? Is she going to find a way to keep this at striking range, land the more impactful strikes? I just get worried because looking at like striking differentials, I mean, the output and the pace of Rosa, the calf kicks, the Aldana fight, that was a crazy war. Like she'll get into it. So I don't think she's going to quit in a striking match. What I do worry about is whenever she faces a wrestler. And that was, I mean, we were all over McMahon. We took other chances against Hossa when she's facing wrestlers. It's just in this fight, I don't think that Cornole necessarily has the type of offensive wrestling to threaten Hossa with some top time. And that's where Hossa is the least consistent. When it comes to the striking, I mean, she's going to put out a shit ton of output, and she's going to do her best to, land maybe she doesn't land the most damage always, but if you're like Aldana and you're just running in forehead first, Hossa's going to
what about the clinch? Right, and we look at the clinch strike versus expectations. Nora Cornole is fantastic with striking in the clinch, and you don't have to just control somebody on the mat to be controlling them. You can be controlling her against the cage. Look at that clinch strike. The clinch strike is plus 11% for Cornole. Oh, it's minus 11. I mean,
yeah, that's not
minus. Oh, that's bad.
That's minus. That's
I meant all right. So we look at the ground though.
The
ground. That's what I meant. The ground striking versus expectation there against expectation is the 30 plus 34% for Cornole.
Yeah, I mean, she does shoot some takedowns. I don't think she's necessarily like a high level wrestler. She's only actually landed one, but she shot a few. And she's had some reversals. She's had some scrambles.
I also feel like
get up game.
Do we think she has more power on the feet?
I'm not necessarily 100% convinced. She is going to be a little bit taller, similar reach. She is older as well, Nora, but I think like she does have a level of violence to her game. Like the reason why her ground striking over expectation is like when she's on her back, like she's throwing elbows, she's being like ridiculous, just landing absurd amount of strikes to try to scramble and cause damage. So I do think like this is going to be a crazy ugly fight, and you can't feel good about Hossa as a favorite.
Right, and I just think as you're describing, Hossa's kind of shown over her career to me that she loses that kind of fight. Sarah McMahon, Norman Dumont, Irene Aldana, and Perez. Like these are people that are out working her and out hustling her, out damaging her. So, I mean, Cornole could certainly be that person. Then again, she's literally beating terrible Melissa Mullins and Haley Cowan. So, but she also beats Jocelyn Edwards, right? So that's actually a decent win against an athletic individual. But did she actually win that fight? I'm actually trying to remember. That was a close one, right?
Which one?
The Jocelyn Edwards fight. Like, wasn't that one like? Did we bet Jocelyn Edwards and were we salty about that? Was that like a close one? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
That one, I think it happened in France or something.
Yeah, it's been a long time. All right.
Wow.
All right, Jordan, I think we've rambled enough, right? Can you speak some truth to us here? What do we need to know here?
Yeah, we'll see if I have something. Women's MMA, I feel like gets like a bad rap, and definitely in terms of entertainment quality, for me, I would agree that women's MMA often is not as fun to watch as men's MMA for me. But from a betting perspective, I have a crazy track record on some of these women's MMA fights that are very mispriced in the fight goes or doesn't go the distance markets. And this one, the fight doesn't go the distance, is like plus 320 right now, which is crazy to me. I mean, like, the thing is, like, Carol Rosa doesn't really finish anyone, and I think she might have like one or two finishes early in her career before the UFC, but she really doesn't finish anyone. But the thing is, well, Cornoli, I think, is a given. Just to start, STB was saying, like, she's definitely violent and capable of finishing fights. We've seen it recently. But with Rosa, like, there's something about the UFC that happened again within the past, I don't know, 5 years or so, is like the UFC PI came around, right? And with the UFC PI came all of this like nutrition and fitness and like recovery understanding and free food for the fighters and stuff. And I think you see some fighters like lean into that more than others. And Carol Rosa is one of them that looks like she's like fully bought into like all of the resources she has available now. Because if you looked at her last fight, like, she just started to get jacked all of a sudden. I don't want to say she's on steroids or something like that, but maybe. And also USADA has gone away coincidentally while all this stuff is happening with the UFC PI, just giving fighters like the best, of every single supplement and handpicked everything. But I don't know. I've seen like a body transformation with Carol Rosa enough for me to believe that she's taking her career seriously. And that means that hopefully she's trying to finish fights, and Cornoli might be off of her back and just on the ground might just get killed, like either ground and pound or sub. Like plus 320 is a crazy line, and then Rosa to win by finish is plus 600, which, like, for someone who never finishes is good value on that bet. So I wouldn't bet the money line on Rosa at this price, like around minus 200 or something like that. That's wild. But I wouldn't bet Cornoli money line either. So I would bet one of these bigger plus money things if I do bet it myself.
Nice. All right. Yeah, I think like you said, man, it's why not take a shot in this type of fight? And I think there's a couple ways you could fade the narrative like you laid out. Fight doesn't go, dog shot. I love it. Nailed it. All right. We've got the Haitian sensation Neil Magny versus Eliseu Zaleski Capoeira dos Santos. I'm surprised there's not a De Silva in there as well. It's already enough of a mouthful. But plus 164 on the Neil Magny side, minus 198 for Easy DS, easier to say. Plus 164, tantalizing. What if I told you there was potential CLV in the pockets of the Chronic Combat conglomerate? Guru, what's the breakdown of this fight?
I don't even want to talk to you right now. Yeah, I think it's a major step down in competition for Neil Magny in regards to who he's been facing lately. And I think that he absolutely can get a win against a guy like Zaleski dos Santos, who's kind of shown that he's feeling the age. He's kind of slowed down in terms of his volume and in terms of his durability in my mind. So I like Neil Magny here. I think that he can actually start to grind on Zaleski and make that kicking style a problem. So yeah, we do have a little CLV. What do we get? Plus 180. Good talk, TB.
Yeah, plus 180. I was confirming plus 180.
Yes, plus 180. All right, yeah, you do whatever you got to do. Jordan, what do you think, man? Are we on the right side here? Can we get an agreement? Because I like your betting style, but you are different. You're right. You see things differently.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't have a money line thought on this fight, which is something that's not a you guys. That's not me going against you guys. That's more of just like my betting style. I don't bet a lot of money lines in
you. How dare you go against us?
But no, I do see a lot of those possibilities for Magny. Again, this is one of those fights for me where it's like, why is this fight happening? Right? Both of these guys are UFC veterans. They're under contract. they have to offer them so many fights. They're both available on this date. Fuck it, book it. Like, that's why the UFC is booking this. Like, they don't care who wins. They probably want to cut both these guys soon anyway, because they're probably paying them a decent amount of money. And they're not bringing much value to the UFC at this point in their careers. So I lean towards someone just getting finished. This fight doesn't go the distance, plus 112. Yeah, I mean, both guys have gotten finished badly recently. So I have no reason to think that either of these dudes are like willing to tough it out if they get hurt to the body and they're just, not feeling it anymore. Could see them going out that way. I could see either guy just getting completely chinned. Could see either guy getting dominated on the ground. Like Neil Magny on top's dangerous. Zaleski on top or on your back is very dangerous. So yeah, I feel like fight doesn't go a distance at plus money for these washed dudes who have chin issues, and what are they fighting for? Like, obviously all the Neil Magny, I feel so bad for Neil Magny with Ian Gary, like Ian Gary like tried to make Neil Magny out to be like a bad father at the same time. at the same time that he like it happened at the same time that he was like having a divorce and like having like custody battles and shit like that. Crazy shit from Ian Gary. What a douche. But
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, man. Ian Gary is like not a cool person in my opinion. Like, whatever you think about his fighting is whatever, but just as a person, not for me. But anyway, the reason I brought this stuff up is that Neil Magny, like, what is he fighting for? Like, listen, at the end of the day, he's still a father. Like, these are things you need to know about anyone you bet on. It's like what their motivations are potentially, right? So like I bring this stuff up, which is a sad story about him having custody battles and stuff like that, but also like, why is he still fighting in the UFC? Like, he's providing for his family that way, and he makes a good living doing this. So to your point, I don't think Neil Magny is like a guy who's coming in with zero motivation. I think he's a guy who wants to win, might not always have the skills to win, or might get cracked sometimes or whatever, but I think he's motivated, and I also think he could get chinned. So, like, for me, it's like I just bet on someone to get finished and call it a day.
That's smart. And I think, like, kind of looking at some interesting props, I feel like the Magny submission plus 1,400, super interesting in my book. And even the Zaleski knockout at plus 240 as well. For his, like, path to victory, it's like calf kicks into trying to obliterate Neil Magny. But yeah, I got to go with the dog as far as hustle, cardio, ability to kind of like drag the fight into the swamp. And I think the Apex cage is what seals the deal for me. Like, we're going to get the clinch for 2 out of the 3 rounds, and Magny's going to be the way bigger guy. I don't think his cardio is an issue. I think his chin's an issue. So as long as he's not dying by knockout in like the first couple minutes, I think we got a good shot here. I do. All right. We're moving on. We got Daniel Puma Silva versus Kevin El Chino Vallejos. Fireworks scheduled in this absolute banger of a fight. Danny Silva plus 330. Vallejos minus 425. Jordan, I need to know what you're thinking here first. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, sure. Let's kick it off. And I saw someone in the comments, by the way, Mr. Wipeout there asked who that is. Yeah, that is Yelena Ostapenko,
Nice.
the women's tennis player on my profile picture. So good shout. Good tennis fan there. Just wanted to answer that.
Can you say that name 5 times fast?
I could, but it's not worth it. Panko is really the way to refer to her, as this person did in the chat. So Panko is cooler. Yeah, but no, Vallejos, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but the whole idea of like building stars in the UFC, like this dude Vallejos has a huge following, and is someone that I actually do think he's like a rare exception where I do think the UFC is giving him matchmaking to try to let him win as much as he can. Weird that they keep booking him in the Apex though. Like, his UFC debut was in the Apex, and now this is in the Apex. Like, I don't know why. He's like a pretty electric dude, and I'm sure in front of a crowd, if he's knocking people out and stuff, like, it would be really exciting. I don't know. It's a pretty square bet, but the way that I look at it is fight to end by KO again. KO TKO is plus 100, and Vallejos to win by finish is minus 115. So again, look at these two lines. Vallejos to win by finish minus 115, but just the fight to end by KO TKO is plus money. But neither of these guys are really submission guys. So I don't know. I think someone's probably going to get cracked. I think Vallejos is pretty reckless, but also kind of like that. What's the model's name who just fought? I bet on him to win by finish in the first round.
Dulatov.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was blanking, but I was blanking on the name. Thanks. Kind of like that guy. Like Vallejos reminds me. These guys remind me of each other because they're just that one shot knockout type of dudes. Like they're waiting, and then they just land something and the dude's dead. So that's probably the way I see it going, is Vallejos winning by finish. It's not the prettiest bet in the world. I'm sure a lot of people would be like, oh, go more contrarian. What about the underdog? I don't know. For me, I think this is one of the rare guys the UFC is trying to like soft pedal Sean O'Malley style into the UFC.
I like that, Guru. What do you got here?
I don't know. I don't want. It's really just the apex that makes me nervous about it. But I think if Vallejo does it, he's gonna do it a little bit later. Like I think it would be a 2-3 KO. But otherwise, I kind of like the fight to go the distance. Danny Silva's a guy that's never been finished, right? He's
Right.
got one loss, and it was by decision. He's shown some solid durability here in the UFC, facing strikers in Josh Coulibaly and Lucas Almeida. Do I think that Kevin Vallejos is much more dangerous than those guys? Yeah, I would agree with that. So, but am I impressed with knocking out Sungwoo Choi? Not even a little bit. So, yeah, we'll see what he got. I mean, we definitely like him. We very sillily picked, I mean, maybe not so silly because he's very talented, but we picked him over Gene Silva on Dana White Contender Series. So we'll always remember that. That's fun. The guy's going to be a champion.
Yeah, Gene Silva's a monster. Looking forward to seeing what happens with him the next year or so. It should be fun.
Yeah, he's incredible. So he's gonna beat the shit out of Diego Lopez. It's gonna be awesome.
So to add some flavor to the breakdown too, we saw, Vallejos on Twitter kind of talking about, oh, I hear Silva's not going to make weight. If he doesn't, there's not going to be a fight. And I think just kind of like taunting, Silva has a tough time getting down, to make it weight. He missed it once. Then in the next fight, Almeida missed weight. So it's like technically a catch weight. But one thing about Silva is he's kind of sneaky, tricky. He tries to get these back takes and little grappling exchanges, but I don't think he can maintain that long enough. And what we do know is like the dude just eats an inordinate amount of strikes. Like he is a punching bag.
You're right.
And like the reason we know he has good durability is
because he eats so many strikes. You're right.
And it's so like right. Angel Pacheco? Like we're letting him land over 100 strikes.
You're right. He's made me money. We bet him. I got him as a dog versus Coulibaly. You're right. He's getting his block knocked off.
Yeah, he is. So I think Vallejos should safely be in like a make the bookies pay parlay type of situation.
I agree with that.
Like and Silva, with how much he has to cut to make weight and knowing he's got to actually make weight to get there, I think the type of body head combinations, like going high low, Vallejos, he's probably getting the job done. And I like your 2-3 angle because while he's got 6 round 1 knockouts, he's also got 5 across round 2 and round 3. So if the price is right, we're going to need to talk to Bob Barker, but we might be stealing from grandma again for this type of prop.
Yeah, it's plus 310, partner. We're getting there.
That's hot. All right. So mark it down, put it in the homework, and make sure if you guys are here and you haven't done the right thing, it's pretty messed up. But you should probably throw a like and subscribe, to the channel if you haven't already. I'm judging you heavily if you're one of the people in the live stream right now and you haven't thrown a like. Like, what are you doing? Come on. Do you not know how to do the right thing and be a good person? But, if you're crazy, you'd throw a donation. We would say thank you so much, and we'll name a type of bet after you. So
We might.
You might. It all depends. Make the bookies pay. He was substantial. John Newquist last week, he gets the dog of the week for last week. But if you want to claim the dog of the week, maybe you got a donation to throw our way. But Anyways, we're live every Thursday. Make sure you're subscribing. That costs you nothing, and that's a great way to support the boys too. All right, we're moving on. Enough of the spiel. Guru, you had something though. What did you have there?
I wanted to make sure that it's Taira and Vallejos to start the make the bookies pay parlay.
All right, that's hot. I think we might have found another leg. It's Rinya Nakamura, the hybrid, versus Nathan Next Generation Fletcher, plus 330. It's the name of the gym that he trains out of, and it kind of flows with the Nathan Next Generation.
It's so bad.
Yeah, it works. There's some alliteration. All right, so minus 425 on the Nakamura side. And what I can confidently say is he's not facing a guy like Gafurov in the grappling department. In fact, Nathan Fletcher versus Kalen Loughran in his last fight, the amount of takedowns this guy gives up and control time. And listen, you can argue one way or another. It's a split decision. It's a super close fight. But Rinya Nakamura is not getting out-wrestled or out-grappled by Nathan Fletcher. His issue is a fight IQ thing. And against Gafurov, who's well-rounded everywhere and has a ton of experience, that's an issue if you try to go out there and just be a striker. I think you could go out there against Nathan Fletcher and you could just be a striker. And there's a reason he's on the Tatsuro Taira card. This is a big promo week.
And he's a better price versus much worse competition. Like, I had talked about it that week. And of course, since I have no balls, I ended up putting Rinya Nakamura in a parlay. But I was like, this Muin Gafurov line makes no fucking sense. And of course, it proved to not. But that doesn't mean that he shouldn't be minus 600 here. He's only minus 400. So, I don't think, Nathan Fletcher, whose best thing is wrestling. If your best thing is wrestling and you're from fucking Cage Warriors, you're gonna have you're gonna have a bad time when you come to the UFC. So Nathan Fletcher, welcome to your bad time. Rinya Nakamura. I wouldn't even be surprised if he gets a finish, but
I kind of was going to say, I want to fade the narrative because the over 2.5 at minus 220, but Nakamura knockout is plus 275 and submissions plus 700.
I just hate it.
Yeah, but I think the physicality difference is what's going to make it happen.
Fletcher,
he has a knockout loss on the region.
I would still probably rather go round specific instead. I wouldn't want to pick a method.
Well, I was just saying inside the distance is plus money. I was just telling you what the price.
Oh, what is the what is inside the distance?
Well, let me. I have to look at that. So I apologize because I wasn't fully prepared.
All right. Well, you can do that.
Jordan, what do you got going on in this fight?
Well, we might have a partial agree here because I think
sound the alarm.
I think the bet that I think makes the most sense in this case, not Nakamura money line. It would only be Nakamura to win by finish, which is like plus 210 right now.
Yes, that's it. You got that
would. Yeah, that would be the only thing that I would consider betting on this because. Yeah, I mean, Nakamura is like an Olympic caliber wrestler. So he's going to be able to dictate where the fight goes, in my opinion. And if he wants to be on the ground, I think he can just wear this dude out and get like a finish by anything. Ground and pound or just easy rear naked choke or something like that. And then, of course, again, always got to remind you, like doctor stoppages, things like that. If someone's just getting beat up, has a bad cut, eye closes. You know what I mean? Breaks a leg. These things happen. So I think, winning by finish gets you a crazy line on this. And yeah, that's a crazy big difference. Money line compared to fight within or fighter to finish. Fight to go to decision in this one. Do you really want to sweat that if you think Nakamura is just going to dominate this fight and he's going to be in like finishing positions over and over and over again? And you're just going to like sweat like him to go to decision or something. So yeah, I mean, these are situations where you don't really need to bet big on these kinds of fights, in my opinion. Just look for something that's big plus money like this that makes sense and bet a little bit on it, like a unit, instead of going crazy and putting like four units on Nakamura money line or 40 units on whatever. Like don't go crazy on this fight, in my opinion.
Nice. Yeah, I love it. And that's why we have to talk to grandma in these situations. Because it's all about how much you can, avoid the risk on the outlay and maximize potential profit. So let's go. We've got a triumvirate of success on Nakamura by finish, plus 210. All right, we've got Rodolfo, the black belt hunter Vieira, versus Mr. Vicious. He did not marry Jasmine Jazz the Vicious, but Mr. Vicious, Trishan Gore.
He definitely likes that white meat, though.
Yeah. Oh no, I left him on Blackshear's photo from last week. Oh
You're so racist. You're not beating the allegations. You're not beating the allegations. Where? Come on, guys. See, you always thought it was me, but it was him.
No,
It's
so what you do have to understand is I just kind of used last week's slideshow and
Dude,
then
you're racist as hell.
copy paste.
If it was a white guy,
There-
you wouldn't have made the mistake.
Sometimes there are mistakes.
You made a mistake.
Sometimes it's the name.
You
Sometimes
think
it's
all
the
black
money
people
line.
look alike. You are racist.
Yeah.
You said it.
Yeah. So yep. That's shout out to TB for messing it up. But ultimately, I mean, yeah. Damon Blackshear vibes here. I think Gore's going to come out, fight a terrible low volume game plan, and he probably just gets mauled by Vieira. I think Vieira could land more volume in the stand up, to be honest. And he probably is just going to end up getting takedowns, not getting power guillotined. I think, the Fluffy Hernandez fight that happened because he was getting rocked on the feet and losing the pacing battle. Gore is not going to put you through a pacing battle. Vieira, and he's not a parlay piece. There's only so much you can actually trust this guy, especially at chalk. But I do expect, listen, if we want to play Vieira by any type of finish, it's plus 100. If you need some action on him, that's probably where I'd go.
I want round 1, round 2. I want to slice it further.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I want to slice it further, Pops.
All right. Well, keep slicing. Tell me what it is.
I mean, I guess, he finishes Dustin Stoltzfus round 3 late. And he's got a round 3 finish on the regional circuit.
Yeah, but Dustin's like an elite round 1 fighter.
Exactly. So
he even knocked out
I
Mark
think if you're
Andre
finishing Trishan Gore, again, okay, clack, 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 fight to start round 3. You're happy with your Rodolfo Vieira bet?
No.
I don't feel good about that at all.
Yeah.
So give me Rodolfo Vieira round 1, round 2. I think it's his win condition. Otherwise, this fight could just look really fucking stupid for no reason. Honestly, that over, I don't know. Why would that over look interesting to me?
Just because of the price. You're
right.
It could
just sail over because he's so dumb. He's just he won't necessarily wrestle. He could stand there and bang.
It's typically round 1, round 2 sub.
So there you go. So that's
only one of them in round 3. His 5 wins are by submission. Only one comes in round 3.
Well, so let's look at it that way. So it just comes up quicker. So instead of even looking at round 1, round 2, quickly just round 1, round 2. Wow. The round 1, round 2 sub is plus 210.
Oh.
So, which is, I thought we would do a little bit better than that.
The
round 1
is plus 130.
Yeah, round 1, round 2 in general is plus 140. So I would just prefer that over the sub in general. And then you can up it a little bit to plus 210. But
okay.
Odds aren't great there. Jordan, again, we've talked a little too long, but what do you think here?
Well, this is one of the only fights on the card that I feel like I'm going to be 100% passing on when it comes to betting. A couple of these early prelim fights are so disgusting to me that it's why do I even need to have money on this? And this is one of them. For me, it's what are the obvious things that are going to happen in this fight? There's one of 3 scenarios I could probably imagine. It's Vieira, just extremely easy ground finish. Gore, extremely easy, just chins him, violent KO finish. Or the most extremely boring, Ngannou, Derek Lewis type standing in front of each other and doing nothing for 15 minutes. And it's because of that, I don't want anything to do with the fight financially. And again, it is another one that just strikes me as what the fuck is the UFC? Why are they booking Rodolfo Vieira, BJJ legend versus Trishan Gore, who's barely a UFC fighter and was on what do you call it, The Ultimate Fighter, and that's
you're so fucking right though. It is.
What the fuck? What are they doing? Why is this fight even happening? There's no point. So I mean, good luck to everyone who bets on this, but I will not be caring or sweating who
Oh
wins.
my
in this.
god, that's so fucking funny, dude.
Oh, God. It's
Oh
pretty
my
good.
god, that's honestly why I asked you to come on the show, man, from the Just Win podcast, MMA podcast. I really like the way you break shit down, and I was like, I need to hear from this guy. That's great, man.
I appreciate it, man. It's nice talking to you guys too.
Yeah, it's awesome. Let's
All
keep
right.
looking.
Beautiful. We got blue collar Nick Klein at plus 130 versus Andre the Pulley Pulyayev. Minus 155. There's been some crazy line movement since opener.
What could possibly go wrong?
So Pulyayev opened at like a plus 160, something like that. Now we're sitting here with a flip flop.
What'd you call him?
A flip flop.
No, like his name.
Pulyayev.
Why?
Pulyayev.
Why? Isn't it Pulyev? What? Well, you're adding an extra.
Pulyayev. No, because
Pulyayev?
there's an AEV after the Y.
Pulyev?
So I think it's like a Pulyayev.
I feel like you're adding an extra syllable in there.
Maybe not.
I guess we'll have to find out.
Mother Russia. All right, so in this matchup, I think watching like Nick Klein, he's really got not the best cardio, and he's gonna sell out for all early grappling, go for the choke, go for the kill, try to get it done, because if not, it's getting sketchy. Basically all of his finishes come in round one. He's got that 1 round 3 finish, but if not, like he's getting knocked out. And his experience, while I think like Andre, he's got, pretty bad amateur record. Like he's fought a lot of fights before he got to this point. And Klein, I don't think he necessarily, like if he didn't get that early finish, like kind of underdog, sneaky, just go for the kill immediately type of vibe. Like, I'm curious how that fight does play out if it extends on Contender Series. And Pulyayev, I trust him to be the guy who wins over the minutes. Like, if this fight's on the feet, there's, like, Klein's best chance is the spinning back fist, and he landed on Mansour. Because otherwise he has no other answer. He needs to sell out for an early submission. So if Klein, like, round one sub, because Klein's submission's plus 400. So, like, Klein, let's see, like, round one submission. So
why are we talking about that? It's not happening.
It's plus 900. That's if you want to hedge your Pulyayev bet.
No. We got Pulyayev. I'm going Pulyayev.
All right.
The whole Pulley.
Yeah.
I'm going with Andre Pulyayev here. And I don't think he'll necessarily finish him, but he could, like, with a round 2, round 3 KO. But meh. I just what nickname? Blue collar?
No, the Pulley.
I don't even see it because of StreamYard. It's the
It's just Andre Pulley.
That's awful. Fucking terrible.
But you don't like a good Pulley? Come on, bro.
Dude, it's so bad. You could call him that's
Be
so
like
bad.
Dan Tom. Come on. Throw a like, enjoy the
Oh,
nickname.
Daniel.
Oh, Mr. Daniel.
Mr. Daniel, good to see you. Yeah, we got Andre Pulyayev minus 110, right? So that's just kind of where
some people are still upset that other people didn't tell them when they took minus 110 and instead someone else has a minus 138.
Oh, my bad.
So I don't want to hear any of your upset.
I don't want to
about
wait.
certain bets tonight.
Shut up, man. Yo, I told him to bet on the Chargers, and he did, and he bet more money than me and didn't tell me.
It was a free bet. I didn't get to choose how much of it. Pull your meat. I can tell you how to feel better about that, Guru. Well, you got minus 110 on the Pulley, so you won in that.
Oh,
regard.
no, I lied. I wanted minus 1. I got minus 122.
Oh, so
I'm a liar.
Damn, that's messed up, bro.
Yeah, I'm a.
All right, Jordan, what do you got in this fight?
Well, I got nothing because I'm definitely passing on this fight as well. But I do agree that probably Pulyayev, that's a hilarious nickname, by the way. That's cracking me up.
Damn it.
but
It's
I
actually-
do
it's not that
I do
bad.
agree he has the experience edge. Like both of these fighters, just to be candid again, like I don't understand how both of these fighters are in the UFC at this point in time. Like the 2025 UFC has just gone haywire with all like the dudes who go straight from the Contender Series into the UFC with like barely any fights. And this dude Klein is just like another one of these guys where it's like I don't want to be financially invested in anything about what's going on in like this dude's life. Like I don't know anything about this dude. You know what I mean? And to convince myself that I do based on watching his fights and stuff like that's like not how I approach betting because it's like I would rather invest more money on the fights on this card where I do feel like I have some like strong edge or perspective on the fight. And it's like this one, it's like, I don't know. This dude Poliev has more experience and he has an Ev ending in his name, right? So like that makes him more dangerous in my opinion. And maybe he wins by finish, but like I'm not betting on this one. But I do wish you guys luck on the money line. Like hopefully he wins. Like I said, the dude Klein like barely has fought, you know, at all. So I don't know what to expect from him.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
fair. This is a shit show. I mean, this could be on Dana White Contender Series this September. Like this is
Yeah, and the winner could not make it into the UFC. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's the kind of fight this is.
100%.
Flamenco FC, fraudulent or not? That's
Imagine signing the bout agreement for Flamenco FC.
to face Flamenco's prospect, but the bully. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, we've got Austin Super Smash Bashi versus John Angel Giannis. Short notice replacement fight. Giannis coming up. What was it? Cage Fury was the no Cage. I don't know.
No, he was
Fury
like
FC?
no, you're still wrong. You can keep guessing if you like. It was the Mormons. No, it was Lights Out Championship.
Oh God, that's even worse. All right. Versus, the prospect that got, some of their shine super smashed last fight by Christian Rodriguez. Minus 675 here for Bashi. Seeing the way Giannis, he's giving up some bad positions on the regional scene. Bashi's probably going to just wrestle. He's probably just going to put on his shoes.
I would imagine that this is
a
a get right spot for Austin Bashi on short notice. But like, fool me once is a minus 600. Shame on me, right? But fool me twice. Got some problems here.
Yeah, he's not going in the parlay. I'm okay on that. We don't need to find out at this number.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Jordan, anything specific here? I'm sure that you love this one.
yeah. Good read on the situation. No, I think definitely +1 to your point about don't put this dude in a parlay as a huge favorite. But I will also be passing on this one. I promise this is the last one. But like this fight to me, it's like I don't know how to find a value betting angle on this fight. I think this dude Bashi is decent enough. Like I think he got quote unquote exposed versus C-Rod, but C-Rod's a good fighter. So
Bashi by sub.
Yeah, I could probably see him finishing. It's just I don't really want to have money on this and then be like pissed off because I put money on this and this dude doesn't want to finish or somehow gets chinned or something like that. Like I'll watch it, but I'm not going to bet on this one myself.
That's pretty smart. If anything, I would actually go more towards potential overs, but the fact that Giannis has a sub loss and he's been in some bad positions, it's not good.
And the 2-3 sub is more likely. I like it. I think
what's the price?
I don't know. They don't have it because they're lame.
All right, nice. Wow, you actually saved yourself. All right, we've got Rafael. We've got Rafael Macapa Estevam versus Felipe Bunes. We're trying to find out, is he like serious buns in this matchup? We've got Estevam.
What?
Felipe Super Buns Bunes.
Come on, man. We cashed a ticket on him last time out. You can't talk like that.
We did. But I don't think that there's money to be made on him this time. because with Estevam, one of the things that we worry about is his gas tank and he slows down. But the type of early pace he's going to put on in the wrestling against Bunis, like that's going to make Bunis also kind of gas out and slow down. And, Bunis much older. He also has trouble with weight cut. And Estevam, I mean, this guy, like, I don't know how he's coming in on short notice making weight. So I'm not really in love with, minus 550. Can't touch it knowing, the type of situation he's stepping into here. But I do think that Bunis is probably most live to find like a fluke finish. And Estevam, the type of pace he puts on, like I could see a round 2, round 3 type of vibe happening. And I know he has a lot of, no, honestly, it's only 2 round 1 finishes. So that's why I was thinking, like, I think it's the pace that's going to kind of get Bunis to get out of there. And he's lost by any type of finish, like knockout, sub, anything's on the table. So I would say Estevam, round 2, round 3 in general. That's kind of where I'd be looking towards. But under 2.5 itself is plus money. All right, Guru, what do you got here?
I don't think that they like Felipe Bunis very much. They gave him a shit matchup, tough matchup in Andre Lima, and then they're like, okay, on short notice, how about this guy instead, who's also a really, really tough matchup. So, yeah, I don't really even see any much finishing equity in Bunis either. Because, I mean, this guy Estevam is really freaking tough, man. Beating Charles Johnson like that was really impressive to me, even though he missed weight. Yeah, I guess we'll go Estevam by maybe decision. I think that's an interesting thought because Bunis has been tough, but I mean, getting knocked out by Josh Van's understandable. The Formiga fight, everybody knows that dude came in so overweight. It was so fucked up.
Why couldn't Estevam come in so overweight?
Well, I don't know because Formiga was like, I think he missed weight.
Oh yeah, they made him go up.
No, so it was supposed. Yeah, no. Yes, no. That's what I'm saying. It was at what the fight was supposed to be. It's supposed to be at 125. The fight happens at 135, and he misses weight at like 140 or something. It's so good.
You gotta love it.
Yeah, it was really bad. So that's it. I'm done rambling.
Jordan, what do you got here?
I lean towards a finish happening in this fight. It's around plus money right now. I think fight doesn't go distances minus 104 last time I checked. I think these Brazilian dudes who are kind of like scrappy and have good Muay Thai skills, which both of these guys have, they get in there and they throw really hard at each other. They cut each other up. A lot of times they get on top and just beat each other up on top and make each other bleed a lot, get rear naked choke positions all the time. Like I just see there's probably going to be so many times in this fight that both guys have a chance, some look at a finish on the feet or on the ground. So if I was going to bet it, I would only bet just fight doesn't go the distance. Both guys have submission equity. Both guys have KO equity. It's not a fight. I wouldn't really feel good putting money on this fight to go the distance and then sweating out what's probably going to happen, which is some really scrappy shit. So I'm looking forward to this fight, actually. I think it's going to be a really interesting fight to watch. But I don't have like a money line side preference. I think both guys can be defensively irresponsible enough to get finished or just get hurt and give up their back, and then the fight's over pretty quickly.
Nice. Yeah, no, I think, I like that finish type of vibe. And plus money, now we're talking. All right, we've got Piera La Fiera Rodriguez versus Kedlin Esquentadinha Souza. I forget what it was. It was like, I don't know. Minus 225 for Piera, plus 185 for the nickname I have not translated for you all. I think
Boo this man.
Boo. Yeah, I'm very sorry. It's Portuguese, not Spanish. So, in this matchup, Piera should have just, I think, a couple advantages. One, the cardio, and two, the wrestling pace. if she goes out and executes that type of game plan, I think she finds success. The secret about Angela Hill, she's kind of losing some of her cardio. And that's where Souza has her best round in round 3 against Angela Hill. That's actually not that surprising anymore. And that's one of the reasons, like Angie, she can't keep up the type of pace that she puts on early. And that's why she gets in so many close split decisions. So while Souza does a good job of like surviving early wrestling and having a close fight, like Hill still wins the matchup. And I think Piera, she's going to have better cardio than Hill. I think she's going to have better offensive wrestling than Hill. And the one thing that I worry about is she going to just start fucking headbutting her from top control as she's winning on her way to the decision. So minus 225, I don't want to play that game. But Piera by decision.
We lost that bet because of headbutts.
No, we won the bet. I bet on the dog.
Oh, yeah, we did bet Carnelosi. You're right.
But it was just so funny. We thought it was done. We were lost. It wasn't happening.
That's
but
so funny.
What's interesting to me is that Souza has 5 losses and 4 of them are by finish. And the under 2.5 for Souza, who her win condition is like a meme knockout or a meme sub. Like, why not the under 2.5 or fight doesn't go at huge plus money? Like, that's what I would kind of lean to here. I think it could be hilarious. But I don't look to have heavy exposure here. We're talking to grandma and see him. Maybe grandpa's armchair has a couple dollars that I could throw on this one. Guru, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like more than likely that Piera Rodriguez will kind of get her wrestling going. You know, she recognized that success versus Josephine Knudsen, who's also no longer in the UFC. And I think that she'll probably get it done here versus Ketlin Souza. But, I mean, the girl has shown herself to be violent, knocking out Yasmin Uregi at, plus 380 underdog. So she's no stranger to the violence, but I think at the end of the day, she'll just be too content to play off her back. Jordan, for I believe the final time tonight.
Oh man, look at that whole card. Yeah, and we'll end it with agreement, I think, because TB was mentioning it, like fight not to go the distance is plus 215 on this fight. That's why not? I mean, let me give you guys a quick story though.
You love violence.
Yeah, of course. I'm an optimist, I don't go in there and root for fights to suck. Fights to suck is an interesting prop, which some books might have offshores and things. Yeah, just fight to suck, yes or no.
Instead of fight to go the distance, it's fight to go to disappointment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a different market. But no, honestly, in this fight, the story that I want to tell you is that I thought Knudsen was going to beat Rodriguez pretty easily when they fought. And I had her in like 2 different parts. I think I lost 2 units on the fight. Like I thought Knudsen was going to win. So I like parlayed her with one fight and one other fight. She just couldn't stop a takedown, which was shocking. And then got cut from the UFC, like you guys were saying. But I don't know what's going on with Rodriguez. Like, is she motivated? If she is, why not finish this person? But Souza, like you guys mentioned, I mean, she has a lot of finishes by KO, TKO, and submission. Yeah. So this line is just ridiculous. Like I mentioned that I have a really good track record with this market because it's a ridiculous market. It's the same thing with 5-round. I'll just give you all this piece as well. Like 5-round main event fight not to go the distance markets are often plus money for fighters who definitely have KO equity or sub equity, and that's a long time to finish someone at plus money, right? And in this case, 3 rounds is still a decent amount of time for someone. If you think either of these can dominate each other on top, why can't they finish from top? But then Sousa has a lot of ground transitions and things like that where she could just wrap up a sub really quick, arm bars, things like that. So, and then injuries you got to factor in as well. Like I said, you always have to remember that part of the equity you get on this bet is someone can just get hurt. And if they get hurt and can't continue, what was that thing that happened to Cedric Doumbé in the PFL in Europe, right? Did you guys see that when he had like
he stepped on a fucking tack or something, glass in the cage.
Guess what? Fight doesn't go the distance, cashed. Okay, so like that's what happens in these situations. Chris Weidman snaps his fucking leg, like. Fight doesn't go the distance, cash. You don't root for these things, but it's part of the bet. So that's really good value. I might put like 2 units on that.
Wow.
Might even go that big on that bet.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Yeah, to end the night. Wow.
I love it. Look at that.
That's to start the night.
Yeah, but to end our night.
Oh,
Yeah,
baby.
that was nice.
Yeah.
I love a little. We found some agreement. I love it. What a time. Make sure you guys do the right thing. I'm so glad you all decided to join us tonight. We're live every Thursday at 8 o'clock. Disregard start times of any previous shows. We're always live at this time every Thursday.
Never happens any other
We never
time.
change it. We're definitely not doing Wednesday next week because I'm going on vacation for the weekend.
Oh, shit, we are.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that is life. So we will be next Wednesday at 9:15 before the guru tells you otherwise. We will have the father of dogs, dog father of God, to come on, help us through the hilarious card that is Roman Delize and Fluffy Hernandez. That should be electric.
You said Marvin Vittori.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, they're running it back. But no, all right. So before, we love doing this stuff. It's a super electric time. So thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Guru. Is awesome. Before we pass it off to the Guru to close it out, Jordan, you got any final thoughts for the fans? Anywhere they can follow you or anything you want to say?
Oh, yeah. Just want to say thanks for having me on, guys. Great chatting. Always great hearing what other people think, who are definitely really invested in the sport and well-researched. Always a great conversation. So I appreciate that. And finding me, just tennis and UFC, like AND UFC, on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm pretty active on both. And I have a Patreon for all of my bets because tennis is a daily sport pretty much 365 days a year, close to it. And MMA's on every weekend almost at this point. All of my bets and analysis are locked behind that paywall. But I have a great community in there. It's super fun, just being able to enjoy fights in this case and also tennis with other people who are passionate about it. So if you're one of those people and you want to check it out, go for it. But I hope you guys enjoy the card, anyone who listened, and definitely you, Guru and TB. Appreciate it.
Seriously, Jordan, thank you so much for being here. We really, really appreciate your time this evening. Guys, make sure you guys check him out. Follow him over on Tennis and UFC on Twitter. And go check out his Patreon if you want to bet on some tennis and some UFC. Guys, thank you again so much for being here. We really appreciate you. Throw a like, throw a subscribe, share it around. Hop on your grandma's YouTube. Subscribe from there as well. Actually, maybe don't, because then she'll know that we're stealing from her couch. But either way, really appreciate you all. We will be back next week, as you heard, on Wednesday. So be there or be square. Is that it? I think that's it. Guys, take care. Make sure you follow TB and me.